Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a little different. I wanted to share my honest, raw, unfiltered opinion about what's been going on with YouTube lately and people that make videos on here on YouTube and kind of the behind the scenes background stuff that maybe some viewers don't know about, but I will tell you there's a lot. I've been doing this for almost 10 years, literally since I was like 13. I will be 23 in September, so I've seen it all. And it's always been something that has bothered me, but I've never really talked super openly about it just because I didn't want to cause drama. I didn't want to be, a bitch or like a mean girl or anything like that. And to be completely honest and blunt, I've really put so much work and effort into being happy in my own life where I'm kind of just like, okay, maybe that's upsetting, that's frustrating, that makes, my stuff on YouTube a bit more difficult, but I'm just kind of gonna let it go. But I feel like at this point, the climate of YouTube and just the viewers are kind of ready to hear this, and I also truly from the bottom of my heart want to hear y'all's opinions, because at the end of the day, the viewers are the ones that are putting any of these people into any position of power or money or fame or followers. And if you guys don't agree or don't watch them, that's it for them. So I really am curious to hear kind of your whole thoughts on all this. So first topic, of course, the elephant in the room and the thing everyone's been talking about. I'm gonna kind of go through it quickly just because I'm sure you might be sick of hearing about it. Just the whole Laura Lee situation. If you are not familiar with it, a quick rundown. She's in the very beauty community. I personally don't consider myself in the beauty community, but more lifestyle and beauty and that kind of thing. Definitely when I started, I used to only make makeup videos, but I don't do that anymore. And I feel like people in Laura Lee's group, that's kind of all they do. So I really wasn't familiar with a ton of them, but basically there's more drama, but she's really getting called out from some tweets that she had from a little while back that were very offensive and just racist and very mean-spirited and hurtful. And she made this apology video that honestly, we can just be honest here, it was incredibly half-assed and just not genuine at all. And she just really didn't seem sorry in it, which I think rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And like many people have said, it's really difficult to come back from a very hurtful, racist, offensive thing that you've said on Twitter. And from a different side of this, I don't quite understand a lot of people's, stance on this and mindset, only because I'm not a Twitter person. I've never been someone that would use Twitter as a 12 or 13-year-old and write really hurtful, offensive things. So I don't really understand her argument of that it was a while ago and she didn't know those things would be seen by so many people and she didn't know that it would be hurtful. I feel like that's just a horrible excuse. Like I said, even me being a 13-year-old on Twitter, I never would have decided to tweet something that's hurtful and racist and horrible because I'm just not the type of person, and my brain is no, you're not going to do that. So I really don't get that whole idea and mindset, and it kind of baffles me. Although I will say, on that whole note of Twitter, I literally still see this to this day of influencers and girls in the beauty community and just in general writing very bitchy tweets back to public companies, especially airlines. I think if you're using Twitter as some sort of customer service line, I guess it's okay. But if you're writing to an airline and basically putting out publicly that they lost your bag or your flight was delayed or something just very trivial in the grand scheme of life, and to be honest, millions of people are traveling by plane, and if you feel like you have the right to call out an airline on Twitter of something that happens just to everyone just because you have followers, that's the reason why they're doing it, because they're using their followers or their verified account as a way to kind of, get notice out of the airline. I just think that is so bitchy, and I don't know why people don't talk more about that, because it's just so bratty and entitled that for, I know this doesn't have to do with Laura Lee, but it still is the same idea. For people to be so surprised that she wrote some mean tweet and she had all these things about her that maybe people didn't realize or people didn't really understand is just shocking to me, because at the end of the day, you guys don't know who these influencers are. You don't know who they truly are as people, especially people that I feel kind of put on a fake front. I mean, I don't watch a ton of her videos, but I don't feel like she's super real in a lot of them. I feel it's not that surprising, I guess, that maybe she's not that great of a person. I don't mean that in a hurtful way. I just mean that, it's interesting that the viewers have not gotten to the point of knowing that a lot of these people that they maybe look up to or admire or watch, you don't really know them, and like there's more to it. Like these are real people, they're not actors. As much as I think a lot of them put on an act in a show in their videos, they are real people, so they're going to be problematic and say things and do things that you probably don't like. And again, I think it's really up to the viewers to decide if that's important to them or not. And I am happy that people are holding her accountable, only because I feel like, you know, think about the Jake and Logan Paul stuff. I feel like so many people on YouTube just get away with so much, and people kind of forget, and they just don't really care for that long. And I think that's really sad, because I think you should, of course, especially about things that are just really inexcusable and terrible. I will say I saw that some brands are like dropping her and stuff. I know it said something about Ulta and like Diff Eyewear, and I think BoxyCharm and a few other things. And you know, honestly, I'm not wishing ill on her, but I do think good for the brands for actually stepping in and like kind of dealing with this in like a real mature way. Because to be honest, like at the end of the day, YouTube and being an influencer and being on Instagram and Twitter and having lots of followers, it is a business. And so many people, I think, have changed and have let it get to their head and have done horrible, mean things because of money, and because of money that they can make and money that's out there in brands. And I think a lot of brands honestly don't do enough research about who they are partnering with, and they just look at views and numbers and what they think they can gain from that person, from exposure. And I'm happy if brands start to look more into influencers, because I think they should, and I think that they should really understand who they are having market them, and look at the fact that maybe this person has millions of followers, but maybe they are someone problematic, or they are someone that is sketchy, or maybe they have fake stuff going on behind the scenes. That's just a whole nother rant I can't even get into, not about Laura Lee specifically, but just people in general. Like the amount of like, I don't know, fake followers and fake comments on Instagram I see, and likes, and just comment pods, or people like comment on all each other's pictures back and forth, and you can just scroll through the comments and like clearly tell that's what's going on. It's just not genuine, it's not real, and it sucks. And that is what is ruining this whole industry, is that people are getting so greedy, they're just wanting more and more and more, that they're doing all these methods that like kill the entire point of this. For me at least, making videos and being online and stuff and connecting to people is about having that connection with real people that actually want to watch me or identify with me in some way, or just like me in some way. And I feel like now for people to just kind of throw that out the window and just make it all about numbers and just having more and more and more, they're just losing that authentic part of what the whole point was. So on the Laura Lee drama, like I said, basically my point is I think it's good if both influencers and brands are really looking a bit more deeply at who they are watching, representing, all that kind of stuff, because I feel like there's more to it than a lot of people want to believe or think, and I'm just glad if people's eyes are being opened. On to the next topic, just about YouTube changing and YouTube being different and people wishing it was the old YouTube. Okay, I'm just gonna say that the people saying this are like the people that, in my opinion, made it become what it is now. Like I said, I've been making videos for almost 10 years, and many of the girls that started back when I did, I can definitely name off a handful that I like, I respect, I follow, I think they are great. Those are the people that have not changed and that have remained authentic. They've been genuine. They've made content that reflects their age and that reflects their own life and things that they're personally going through and dealing with, and just content that I think is actually enjoyable. And the people that are like having the audacity to say that YouTube is over and it's changing and it's horrible are like the people that really, in my opinion, were so not genuine and just kind of caught on to that trend of like having overly saturated videos and making your videos like a skit and editing them so much that it's like a miniature movie, where it basically is like acting. Like there was nothing about them that was real. And I think now that viewers are growing up and kind of getting over that, the people that used to do that are kind of scrambling. And in my opinion, it comes down to money, because I think if they're not making money, they want to know what they can do to kind of catch on to the next trend. And while that used to really bother me a while ago, just because I felt like I was missing out on growth and my channel maybe could have taken a different path if I kind of went along with like the YouTube trends, and I've never been the type to do that, I look back on it and I'm so glad that I stayed true to myself, and I'm so just proud of other people that are like my YouTube peers that also didn't fall into that. There are many girls that did, and there are many girls that did not. And the ones that I still watch and am friends with and respect are the ones that remain true to themselves. And I think ultimately that it's going to level off and everything will kind of work itself out, because it always does. I think if you're being not genuine and you're putting on a show, and let's just say, I don't know, you're 23 years old pretending like you're 12 in your videos, of course it's not sustainable, and of course eventually your audience is going to get sick of it and you're going to be left with not knowing what to do. Not to call anyone out because I don't know Emma Chamberlain personally, but I do think it's really interesting of what she's been doing of kind of changing the landscape a lot of these girls that used to, I guess, have the followers that probably now watch Emma. And I know Emma Chamberlain is very real. She is very much herself. She doesn't have like a perfect background or anything, and she is just very authentic. And I think it's funny that a lot of her viewers, in my opinion, probably used to watch these girls that make these very like saturated, like kind of skit videos. And now that they're watching someone new like Emma, they are now saying they want to be real and they want to be authentic and they want to show, you know, their true selves on camera, where I'm just sitting there like, you could have done that always. Like, that was always an option. You never had to like make yourself into something that you weren't. You never had to put on a show for people. You never had to act way younger than you actually were to appeal to brands and to your audience. Like, you always could have been who you really were, and I think that honestly would have worked out better for you. But what's done is done. People chose their own paths in life. I can't really say it's wrong or right. It's their own deal. I just hope that at the end of the day, when people walk away from all their editing and stuff and, you know, their filming and their equipment, they're happy with themselves and they feel like what they're putting out there is something helpful and something that's actually going to benefit people, opposed to just kind of making money off them and profiting off them and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I do think, unfortunately, just to be completely honest, a lot of it comes down to money. I think that if we went back to the days where people didn't even know you could make money off of YouTube, people weren't making money off YouTube back in the day, you would have seen a lot of differences, because I think money has made a lot of people change their morals and the way they do things, because that's just the name of the game. Money makes people do crazy things, and I think it's now making people really wonder, like, what do I do now that what I was doing before isn't working? And, you know, for me, someone that's always just been very open and honest and real, you know, I'm not scared about it because that's always been what I've done. It's not really any different. I just find it a little bit comical that the people saying this are the ones that, like, were not authentic for many years. So, whatever, that's not here or there. And, you know, I think I'm in a very lucky and blessed position that for me, YouTube and the financial gains of it was never like a thing for me. That was really like, it just wasn't a thing. Like, I don't need that. And so it wasn't something that drove me to do things. And, you know, maybe if I was in that position, I still think I would remain true to myself because that's just the type of person I am. I would have a really hard time keeping up this front or this idea or like skit of a person that had nothing to do with who I really was, especially as I was getting older on video and stuff. So that's that. And then lastly, just on the whole idea of, I don't know, just kind of the direction of my channel, I just want to continue to live my life and then share those moments with you guys and have this as a diary to look back on, you know, special things that happened, hard things that happened, great things that happened, sad things that happened. That's what I ultimately want to do. I started making these videos as a way to connect with you all and a way to find girls that were just like me from around the world. And I still get messages from you guys all the time, and I meet you out and you guys like tell me that you've watched me for so many years and you feel like we're so similar and that we could be best friends. And that to me matters so much, and no amount of followers or anything would ever change that. And I don't know, it's just like sad to me on Instagram to like see people doing like these giveaways where they say, hey, follow like these 20 bloggers and then you'll win a trip to Paris, but if you unfollow them, then you won't win the trip. And I'm just thinking, like, you know, why are they doing that? Like, it's all just for the numbers. Like, why would you want people to be following you when they're only doing it to win a prize? Like, that just defeats the entire purpose of, you know, sharing your style or sharing your life or what you're doing with people. If they don't actually genuinely like you or connect with you, why would you want them as a follower? Like, that just, oh my gosh, like, I just don't get that at all. And I think, you know, as much as the landscape is upsetting me and frustrating me, I truly believe that eventually it'll all work out. And I do think that, at the end of the day, people like stuff that's real, people like stuff they can connect with, and any of the fake stuff is just background noise. And I think in the end, those people will realize like what they're doing just isn't sustainable and isn't enjoyable. You know, at the end of the day, if you're not happy with yourself in your real life, it doesn't matter how many followers or any amount of money or brands that you get to work with, that none of that matters. And I think that it's just something that I hope people are more open to, and that people can be more honest and authentic. And I have to say that that's a great step, but you could have been like that the entire time. I don't know, just my 2 cents. Again, really not trying to be dramatic, not trying to be a bitch, not trying to call anyone out, but I needed to say these things because I've gotten lots of questions about it, I guess because I share my opinions on things quite often, and this has been something I've been so quiet about for like years, because trust me guys, there's just so much behind the scenes. I will say there are a lot of influencers and YouTubers that are so sweet, that are so cool, down to earth, that I've met and just instantly connected with and loved, and to this day respect and cherish as people. But there are a lot that are not that way, and I've met a lot of them and I know a lot of them, and it's eye-opening. And I think more and more as people are becoming more real, hopefully that will be more evident to the viewers, because at the end of the day, you guys have the knowledge and the power, and you guys are the ones that are putting these people in positions. So just be mindful of that and just try to kind of look out for it. But yes, please let me know your thoughts and opinions on this. I would love to hear it, because honestly this topic is something that is so interesting, and I'm sure everyone has their own thoughts. So that's it for today. I'll see you guys later and hope you guys had a great night. Bye.